Hey everybody, failed entrepreneur. I make terrible videos every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see some more. But today I want to share my thoughts, make a video on a lingering concern I've been having these last couple of weeks. I've kind of maybe hinted at it in other videos, but never really kind of fully addressed it or dedicated a video to it. But basically my really, I guess, kind of grave concerns with just how fragile our society is, right? Corona has exposed a lot of weaknesses in our system, and when things are going good and the economy's great and got jobs and there's toilet paper in the grocery store, right? Things are more or less pretty smooth, but you throw a wrench into that system, and I'm just kind of amazed at how quickly everything collapses. Now, this is a little unprecedented, right? We've had economic slumps, we've had recessions, and we've had depressions. This is different. This is economic blitzkrieg, right? This is so hard, so fast, so wide-ranging. You really couldn't prepare for this very much, and it's just been economic devastation is what we're living through right now, right? An economic shutdown, basically. So I understand it is a uncharted territory as far as like the economy goes, but that being said, still things have not been that resilient, right? Tons of people are unemployed. Tons of businesses have shut its doors and may not reopen them again. They just won't survive this by the time it's through, right? People are dying, right? More people have died from Corona. I think I heard the other day we're getting close to. This is probably true. More people have died from Corona than died in the Vietnam War, right? We're getting. I made a video before, kind of comparing the death toll. This was about 2 weeks ago, compared to like other deadly days in American history. And basically, we're kind of having like a 9/11 each day with people dying from coronavirus. About 2,000, give or take, I think is still where we're at. Now, on average, just regular normal circumstances, I think I also looked up later, about 7,000 Americans die every day, regardless of circumstance. So it's not like, we're definitely adding to that number right now, but it's a deadly thing. It's hurting a lot of people physically, economically, and socially. Things are starting to fray, right? Whoever thought that your average neighborhood grocery store was the weak link, right, in our society or societal chain, right? It's where we're dependent on getting our food and our supplies from, and if your grocery store shuts down, if they all shut down, if they stop working, people are going to starve. People are going to run out of necessities. People are going to get desperate. We've had to create a position where a lowly shelf stocker is an essential position. That's an essential worker, right? They're kind of putting their life on the line, going out into the one place everyone has to go. I guess you could say it's the Corona hotbed, to just make sure there's spaghetti and rice on the shelf, right? But again, it's a little scary to think about just how quickly everything tumbles down, and not to demean or downplay it or anything, but Corona really isn't that bad, right? I mean, and again, I'm not trying to downplay. It's kind of an inconvenience at best. Now, again, if you're dying from it, it's obviously more than that. But again, it's not that bad, right? Imagine if this was a more contagious, a far more deadly virus. What if it's like Ebola or something worse that's coming around, right? Where like really, you got bodies in the street, and you got people, loved ones dying, in droves. It'll get real ugly real fast, right? And any preppers watching this video are like, "Hey, I told you so. You laughed at me," and hey, you get to have your day in the sun, right? I'm a believer now. It is scary how quickly things can turn, and I will admit, as an American growing up in the United States, I've lived with abundance my entire life. So if you're, other countries and other areas of the world, this is probably the norm for you. And again, here's some white privileged guy complaining about, no toilet paper in the grocery store aisle. Hey, we don't even have a grocery store, right? I get it. I understand, right? I kind of see. But, when we have here, we have so many people and, your big cities and your towns, and it's just, when things stop working really quickly, like I said, the house of cards can quickly come down. And in a good way, this might be kind of like a gift, right? Maybe kind of a wake-up call. Maybe like, a dry run for when shit really hits the fan later on. Again, people have been saying for a long time, it's only a matter of time before, you get the big, huge virus that comes and wipes out a certain percent of humanity. I don't think Corona is that, but maybe, mutates into that, or maybe something else comes along. There are more and more people on the planet every day. We are getting more crowded. Resources, like not oil right now, but your food, your water, just even livable, arable land is becoming more scarce, and that's breeding grounds for viruses, pandemics, disease to get out and spread. And because we are so connected now, really, and we're seeing and living this right now, that one isolated hotspot can quickly become something global and have some damaging effects. It's also been eye-opening how inefficient the medical system seems to be, right? Tons of disinformation is coming out. Where it's worse than the flu. More people died today than the other day. There's no vaccine. There may be no vaccine, or drink your, he didn't say it, but drink your bleach, or the hydroquinine, whatever it's called, the fish tank cleaner stuff, the malaria, whatever it is, right? It's just, there's so much bad information out there. As a consumer of that, it's just hard to figure out, which way is up and which way is down. Like, what the hell is going on? And that's a little disconcerting, that the people who are supposed to know, they can't even decide or be clear on not even what Corona is, but like, how are we doing against it, right? And it's just, that is a little worrying as well. And so, like I said, this has been a stress test, and we're not doing that great. You put a little pressure on things, and it's surprising how quickly, like I said, things start to fall apart. People, workers, citizens, you and me, right? Like I said, those jobs may not be coming back. What happens if this goes long and you got tons of people, homeless on the street, losing their jobs, not because, bad workers are screwed up. It's just like, we're having a big contraction now, and that's going to create a lot of problems and extra stress on the system. So how do we deal with that, right? I hope this isn't permanent. I hope this isn't like a long-term shift or change that we're heading into right now. But it may be foreshadowing of maybe where we're going, or if this happens again, just how bad things could really get, like I said, if it gets worse. And it's been a little worrying for me. Now, I'm not going to go out and buy a gun tomorrow. I'm not going to go make a bug out kit. May not be a bad idea, but it's just, it's been kind of eye-opening just how poorly, I guess you could say, we've been able to deal with something as inconvenient as Corona, right? Again, not people, not downplaying those who have lost their job or lost loved ones. I just saw something in the news today. I think half of people unemployed are actually making more money on the government dole than they are with their regular jobs, right? When you add in like your Trump bucks and your unemployment benefits and the food stamps and the relief programs, hey, sitting at home on your keister ain't too bad, right? So again, it's just like, how do we help people and how do we deal with this? But it's been a lot of ad-libbing, and it's not been the response has not been what I would have expected it to be. If you would have told me this was going to happen like a year or two ago, right, I thought we'd be doing a little bit better. But it's a tricky situation. It's uncharted territory. Like I said, we've never really been in something so bad so quickly. And hopefully if it comes around, like I said, this is a kind of a wake-up call. It is practice, so we can have a better response. And I promise when this calms down, people are definitely going to go back and look at this and study this and research this to have better plans in place. Send the troops, go secure those grocery stores, right? But it's a little unnerving, just kind of how, and it's not bad, but you can just kind of see one or two scenarios that it could spiral out of control pretty quickly. And even me just a couple months ago never would have thought that was possible or could happen, at least here. So I thought we were a little more insulated. I thought we were a little more secure from dysfunction, like kind of we're seeing right now. So that's it. Just something I'm worried about, something I'm thinking about, and just some observations and small fears from what's going around and from what I can see from out my window, just living here in my place. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Like I said, I got things to do. I know you do too. So I'll catch you later. This is Fail Entrepreneur.